The Great Pyramid, ancient engineering or alien intelligence. Among the seven wonders of the ancient world, the Egyptian pyramids are ranked first, with the most magnificent being the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Built around 2600 BCE, it stood 146.5 meters tall, with a base length of 232 meters on each side and a perimeter of roughly 1 kilometer. The pyramid was constructed from 2.3 million massive stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. No binding material was used between the stones. They were simply stacked on top of each other. The precision was so great that not even a razor blade can fit between them. Surviving nearly 5,000 years of storms and weather, it still stands proud and majestic, leaving all who see it in awe. A total of 80 pyramids have been discovered in Egypt, scattered along both sides of the Nile River. Among them, the Great Pyramid of Khufu is the tallest and grandest, built 4,600 years ago, and remains the largest single architectural structure ever created in human history. The Khufu Pyramid rises on the Giza Plateau, about 10 kilometers west of Cairo, in a vast desert of sand and rubble, a barren land. Constructing such a massive structure in a place so impractical raises the question, what was the true purpose of its design? According to some researchers, the pyramid is so durable that it could withstand 100,000 years of sandstorms and rain without damage. By the time that period ends, humanity's civilization may no longer even exist. Since the 1920s, a wave of researchers have flocked to Egypt. They look at the enormous structure in astonishment. How did the ancient Egyptians carve and stack such massive stones to create a tomb? The layout of corridors and rooms inside resembles a labyrinth. What technique did the ancient Egyptians use to design it? The air shafts are tilted and led deep underground. The smooth stone walls are engraved with stunning bas-reliefs, admired for their beauty. Yet no one can truly explain how the Egyptians achieved such advanced sand excavation and fine carving. What tools did they use to create such precise work? Remember, 4,500 years ago, humans hadn't even discovered iron. What baffles experts even more is the sheer amount of labor it would have taken to build the pyramids. Estimates suggest that Egypt would have needed a population of 50 million people at the time of construction to sustain such a massive workforce and food supply. But when researchers opened the history books, they were shocked to discover that in 3000 BCE, the total global population was only about 20 million. Looking deeper, they realized that most of the labor at the time had to focus on farming just to provide food for construction efforts that lasted year after year. All of these workers needed to eat, yet the Nile Valley was narrow with limited arable land, barely enough to support even a few 100,000 workers, let alone a million. And among them, it wasn't just stonemasons and builders, but engineers, supervisors, priests, pharaohs, and their families. Could the agriculture of the Nile Delta alone have supported them all? Even more puzzling is the question of how the ancient Egyptians transported these massive stones. The traditional theory suggests they used wooden rollers. That primitive method might have worked, but it required large, strong trees. Yet the Nile Valley had very few trees, mostly palm trees, which are soft and unsuitable for use as rollers. Moreover, palm trees were essential for food and shelter. Their fruit was a vital food source, and their leaves were the only material available to provide shade in the scorching desert. Cutting them down en masse for construction would have been a foolish act. So did the Egyptians import timber from abroad? Those who propose this theory overlook the fact that to import such massive quantities of wood, ancient Egypt would have needed a vast fleet of ships to sail across the sea, unload at the port of Alexandria, then carry the timber upstream along the Nile to Cairo, and from there transport it overland to the construction sites. But 4,500 years ago, The Egyptians didn't even have horse-drawn carts. They wouldn't appear in Egypt for another 900 years. Calculations show that the Great Pyramid was built from 2.6 million blocks, each weighing about 10 tons. No adhesive was used, yet after 4,500 years of exposure to the elements, the joints between the stones are still so tight that even a thin blade cannot be inserted. Did workers or slaves from 4,500 years ago really create such incredibly precise engineering? It's hard to believe. Moreover, the idea that the pyramid was merely a pharaoh's tomb is also questionable. Let's set aside how they quarried and moved 2.6 million stones. Just stacking them is nearly unimaginable. If they managed to place 10 blocks per day, it would take 260,000 days or 700 years to finish. Even at 100 blocks per day, it would still take 26,000 days or 70 years. These are simple calculations that any Egyptian pharaoh could have done. So why build a tomb that they might never live to use? It's hard to understand, isn't it? Indeed, it is very hard to understand. What mysteries does the pyramid hold? If the question of who actually built the pyramids already leaves us baffled, then the profound scientific and technical knowledge embedded within them is even more astonishing and awe-inspiring. The Great Pyramid is so deeply connected to astronomy and mathematics that even modern scientists struggle to fully comprehend it. Some believe the purpose of building the pyramid was to create a universal measurement system for all of humanity. The unit of length used in the Great Pyramid was derived by dividing half the Earth's circumference into 10 million parts, meaning that the base length of the pyramid equals 1/10 millionth of half the Earth's equator. The pyramid also defines units, such as the inch and even the side length of the area unit A, where A, Jamar 100 square meters, thus each side, Shamar 10 meters. Inside the pyramid, one can also find measurements equivalent to the ancient Prussian foot. The pyramid's units of weight and volume are derived from those length units combined with the Earth's density. Its unit of heat matches the Earth's average global temperature. Even the 7-day week time system appears to be encoded in the structure. Some suggest that the Great Pyramid was built by the Sybarites, a people believed to have lived during a time influenced by divine inspiration in patriarchal systems. Additionally, the chamber that houses the pharaoh's sarcophagus inside the Great Pyramid has dimensions of 2 r 5 and 3 r 4 ratios that align perfectly with the mathematical foundations of triangle construction. This is the same triangle principle later formalized by Pythagoras, the ancient Greek philosopher, but intriguingly, Pythagoras lived over 2,000 years after the pyramid was constructed. Even the location of the Great Pyramid is mysterious. The prime meridian runs directly through its center. This may explain why the builders chose that specific rocky desert location within a natural V-shaped fissure in the earth. By using this spot, they created a colossal tomb precisely positioned. What's more, the pyramid divides the Earth's land masses and oceans into two nearly equal halves. How could anyone choose such a location unless they had intimate knowledge of the Earth's layout, as if they had designed the planet itself? Could the ancient Egyptian pharaohs truly have possessed such capabilities? More and more scientists today are discovering never-ending scientific implications hidden within the pyramid. In 1949, a German scholar proposed that mathematical data from the pyramid could be used to calculate the Earth's radius, volume, and density, as well as the movement of celestial bodies, even the life cycles of men and women. While people were still gasping in disbelief in 1951, a French researcher went even further, asking a more astonishing question: could the Great Pyramid contain formulas related to nuclear bombs? Recently, unexpected discoveries in Egypt have reignited this mystery. Archaeologists claim that extraterrestrial beings or remains may be buried inside the pyramids. Dr. Bauer Gabo and his team, while studying the pyramid's internal structure, found a sealed frozen object. Using scanning equipment, They detected movement inside resembling a heartbeat and blood pressure. They believe the object is 5,000 years old and could be a living organism in suspended animation. According to a hieroglyphic manuscript discovered inside the pyramid about 5,000 years ago, a flying chariot, presumably a spaceship, crashed in the Cairo area. A single survivor emerged from it. The manuscript refers to this survivor as the designer. Archaeologists now believe that this extraterrestrial being might have been the architect of the Great Pyramid itself, and that the pyramid serves as a signal meant to alert others of its kind from space to come to its aid. What puzzles scientists most is how this alien being managed to freeze itself in such a solid block of ice that neither melts nor decays, and how it entombed itself within it. Wouldn't it be fascinating if one day we could awaken the alien designer still lying in that mysterious block of ice? Thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep exploring more mysteries in our next videos.